Hello, and thank you for watching today's regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We're continuing to watch pushes of cooler air spill across the prairie, and we will be locking this cooler pattern in across the prairie over the next 10 days or so. It's going to be a cold but dry pattern for many areas. The exception is going to be the high plains, the Front Range here in south and western Alberta, and then a corridor north of the prairie where we could see some snow here in northern Saskatchewan and then northern and central Manitoba. But the primary prairie region here going to be on the dry side over the next 7 days or so. Temperatures on this, what is today? Wednesday morning. Temperatures right around freezing, give or take 3 to 5 degrees here. Again, a chilly air mass in place, and we'll kind of bring reinforcing shots of that in over the next 5 to 10 days. A look at the satellite picture here. We'll go ahead and put this into motion as we went through the overnight. Some clear skies to be found here across northern and central Alberta, central southern portions of Saskatchewan, and then getting into southern Manitoba. As the sun rises now, we can kind of pick out some of those clear spots, again, kind of along and south of this line, some broken cloudiness to be found. So you look at the radar, we do have some light snow falling, again, across portions of central Saskatchewan, getting into southern Manitoba, and perhaps a wintry mix, some rain, sleet, and snow across southern Manitoba with some warmer temperatures across that region. We're going to continue to see this very light precipitation just slowly kind of, let me change my color, drifting off to the south-southeast through the day today. So not talking about any real significant accumulation, but just a chance for those flurries as we head through the day today into tonight. As we then head into the day on Thursday, we'll have to watch back toward the northwest, the chance across northern Alberta into northern and central Saskatchewan for, again, just some very light snow, maybe a wintry mix here, a few raindrops, a few, pings of sleet, maybe a few snowflakes. So we're going to see this pattern over the next couple of days, these very light opportunities for precipitation, but not looking for any kind of real significant accumulating snow over the next 7 days. Total accumulation over the next 4 days, so this includes the snow showers today and tomorrow into Thursday night. And again, you just see this corridor from northern and central Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba, where we're talking about maybe a trace up to a couple of centimeters of snow in some of the locally high spots. Now the pattern over the next 5 days, we're really going to be anchoring a trough in across this region, and that is going to bring some cooler temperatures into the prairie. It just is the pattern that we're stuck in. As we watch this trough kind of amplify over the weekend, this would be as we get into Sunday and Monday, downstream from this big ridge in the Gulf of Alaska. So forcing a lot of warm air northward into Alaska, and that just unfortunately means we're displacing a lot of cooler air southward into the prairie, and that looks to be the name of the game as we head into next week. Now again, it's going to be a dry cold, and that is because we're bringing a lot of dry air in. Let me go ahead and jump back. We're looking at precipitable water, so the moisture content within the atmosphere. As we head through the next few days, we are drawing a little bit of Pacific moisture in with this area of low pressure that's dropping in over the next couple of days. So there you can see it kind of funneling in, wrapping around that area of low pressure, and then here comes the dry air on the backside, kind of pushing in. You see those grayer shaded areas. As we get into the weekend, we're really going to bring a lot of dry air into the prairie, and that's going to kind of shut the precipitation down. You see it really plunging into the U.S. even. So here we are into, this is Monday afternoon now, and you're seeing this cool, dry air mass spreading from the prairie into the western and central United States. And so it's not until we get to, let's keep on playing this, here we go, getting into maybe mid to late next week that we start to draw some Pacific moisture back up and over the top of that ridge, but question marks as far as how accurate that is. But the main message that we can gather from this is it's going to be a dry, mostly dry next 7 days. Now the exception, I mentioned one exception to be found. Here's a look at the European model, a little longer range. Here's the first wave of very light precipitation making its way in today and tomorrow. Here's the next wave that comes out of northern Alberta as we get into Friday, bringing again just some very light precipitation. Now here's the exception. As we get towards the higher elevations here in western and southern Alberta, here's the flow right now. We've got flow coming around this area of low pressure, and then here's this high up to the north, and we've got clockwise flow coming around that area of high pressure. So as we get into Alberta, now we've got this northeasterly flow coming up against the Rockies, and so when we get this, we call it upslope flow. You got your mountain ranges looking like this, and then we get the flow coming up and over those mountains, and so the mountains kind of force the air upward, which leads to the development of cloud cover and precipitation. So maybe you already knew that, living in that area, but if you didn't, there's a little science lesson, a little meteorology 101. on why we'll have to watch western and southern portions of Alberta as we get into Friday night into Saturday, the potential for some accumulating snow. It's the flow around that area of high pressure to the north and the area of low pressure off to the east. So we'll take the drawings off and just take this into the rest of next week, watching again a really quiet week for many, just watching for the chances for periodic snow flurries. And then as we get into Friday and Saturday, the potential for some accumulating snow across southern and western portions of Alberta. Otherwise, a very quiet week on tap as far as precipitation goes. So here's a look at the accumulated snow loop. So we're into Thursday now, Friday, getting into Saturday. Here you see it stack up in that region, taking it all the way into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So let's take this to the end of the loop, all the way into April 17th, April 18th. Of course, things could change once we get into the 7 to 10 day time frame, but you see the two corridors. We're looking at southern and western Alberta, and then that potential corridor here where we're seeing some very light snow flurries that could potentially add up to maybe 5 to 10 centimeters over the course of the next week. Otherwise, across the remainder of the prairie, looking at a mostly dry next 7 days. A cool next 7 days, again, bringing a lot of cold air in, a lot of cooler and drier air out of the north, and that is going to lock the prairie into a cooler pattern as we get into next week. A look at your high temperatures for the next 10 days in Calgary. Again, enjoy that warmth of the next couple of days because we drop back down to sub-zero high temperatures Saturday and Sunday before slowly climbing out over the course of the next week. A very similar look here in Edmonton. Regina dropping down here as we get into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It does look like the weekend into early next week. That's going to be the coolest period of this little cold blast here. We see Saskatoon, high temperatures -4 to -6 as we go through Saturday to Tuesday. And then Winnipeg, the coldest days out of the next week to 10 days, going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as that blast of cooler air comes in. We'll start to slowly try and climb out of that basement as we head through the next week. Have a wonderful day.